Episode 90, Second Part, Third Gender. Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara, and this is the channel Rewriting the Reality. In today's episode 1 I'm going to explain the third gender a little further. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This third gender is different from the third gender that is currently happening on the supposed lost continent of Atlantis. The two we are experiencing, male and feminine, can be called instinct. I would say that it's an urge, it's a drive with people as much as with any other animal that is about creating offspring. But this expression that is likened to instinct comes from the necessity of generating offspring to continue the species. We don't need to do that any longer. That's also a part of the timing of this emergence of this third gender, that it's not necessary for us to be generating more offspring. It's not something that is actually an instinct. I expressed it's like an instinct, but it's not an actual instinct. Just as with animals, if a particular species of animal is threatened or endangered, it's more likely that it will produce more offspring. If it isn't, it's more likely that they will produce less, and that would be instinct, and they don't think about it, they simply do it. And in that, it's a physiological, biological function that happens. Now, we as humans, once again, with no accidents, are moving in a direction of generating this new emergence of this new freedom of expression with the third gender, and part of it is that they don't have this drive to produce offspring. If they have a desire to generate a family, which is not the same as the drive to produce offspring, if they do have a drive to generate a family, they are quite content with moving in the direction of assuming parentage of other children, what we term to be adoption. That it's an interesting phenomenon what we are creating at this time, and all of it is interconnected. We move in the direction of, in many places, banning the action of abortion. What I'm expressing is not an opinion. I don't want to incorporate an opinion about whether abortion is right or wrong. They are all choices. And in that, what I would say is, it is an interesting situation, that everything is interconnected, and as we move in the direction of this expression of this new freedom of gender, that we also have the ability, or the availability, of termination of pregnancy. Which then creates a situation in which there's likely to be more children that are born that the biological parents are not necessarily accepting of, and that makes a greater availability for those individuals that choose not to be procreating. I'm not, once again, expressing any idea that one direction is right or wrong. I'm simply pointing out the interconnectedness of the choices that we all are making. It wouldn't be fair to say that our direction as a species, going into this shift further, is to have less individuals manifested. I would say that that's the direction that some cultures have attempted to implement, but it generally isn't successful. The case of the Chinese people proved it. I would say that no, it's not necessarily a matter of generating less offspring, it's simply a matter of how we do it and do it different. The pull for people to marry each other is very natural. Some governments have accepted that. For example, in 2015, the federal government passed a law that allowed people to marry whoever they wanted, in the short term, that allowed individuals to couple with each other and to be recognized to incorporate the same rights in coupling as anyone else. But in my opinion, the state shouldn't be involved. That there shouldn't be an incentive to get married, and we should be able to couple or uncouple freely without state intervention. However, the institution of marriage, and the involvement of state in relation to that institution, and the promotion of it through incentives are all very much based in that Victorian expression and history. But I would say that in association with relationships, that the state should not be generating that control by expressing incentives to be generating marriage as a legal institution. But I would say that it's also a matter of recognizing that for a time, it's important that there is the acceptance of everyone being able to participate in that legal institution. Just to be leveling of the playing field. I hope this clarification will help you to understand the emergence of this third gender that we call non-binary. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.